all part of a game that we don't even know we're in. Because let's get one straight. The Democrats and the Republicans are both full of shit. And they said that you got to pick a team. You got to pick a team. But what does the team actually do for you? Absolutely nothing. I voted Democratic my entire life. And I'm starting to think like, man, everybody in my hometown is still poor. Man, all the black neighborhoods are still poor. They all go to schools, and we've been voted Democratic for 59 years. I've been on the earth. And then I was like, at least the Republicans, they just going to take care of the rich folks. I think the point I try to tell people now, man, if you're waiting on these political parties to make your life better, you just wrong.
So what do you do, though?
You got to handle your own business, Chan. You got to handle your own business. Like, you can't sit around and say, hey, I want this part. You have to take control of your life.
What it do, YouTube world? Is Coffee. Top of the morning. How you guys doing, man? We got some news, few topics. Stay tuned. Let's get it. Hit them buttons and them comments. But to kick it off, you guys hear Sir Charles Barkley with quite the message there, right? And, you know, I always share personally, and I want to know how y'all feel. You know, me personally, my feelings with the political ish, I don't get too wrapped up in that. I've shared it, those sentiments numerous times on this platform. Again, I want to know how y'all feel, you know. But when I say that, I'm not saying that, you know, I don't feel like it's not something that people should pay attention to, what's going on in the country and whatnot. I just mean that I see families being ripped apart, literally, behind a lot of this political ish. You know, like, it's turned up to the maximum these days. Family members like, oh, you know, such and such flux with this side or that side. I don't talk to them no more. Or friends, you know, friendships falling apart. Or just in general, people getting into very, very heated exchanges and arguments and fights and all that. Like, it's crazy out here. You know what I mean? And what Sir Charles was saying there, as far as, you know, he voted one way all of his life, and when he looked in his local area, the way things were shaking and moving, and, you know, what actions were being put into place versus what politicians were saying, he's like, you know. But at the same time, he's not saying that he feels the other side is the truth. Like, they're just keeping their word, you know. At the end of the day, you heard him. It's a big game in his opinion. And, you know, I truly believe that. I mean, I don't know a lot about all this ish, but one thing that I will say that I do feel is lobbyists, big payments going to lining certain individuals' pockets to push certain bills and initiatives and all that, and everything is, you know, and capitalism and greed and everything is basically what runs ish in America. To me, I could be wrong, I could be tripping, but I want to know what you guys think about all this, you know? Let's open up them comments. Let's talk. What do you think about what Barkley was saying there? Next up, this was some crazy news. I don't know if you guys saw this recently. A orb fell out of the sky and landed in Veracruz, Mexico, on top of a tree. And no one really knows what to make of this. I guess some meteorologist on the news, you know, was reporting on this and telling people, hey, don't touch that thing. It could be radioactive. Let the professionals deal with it. And I guess the Mexican military and authorities came in and took it away. I haven't heard any update about it. What do y'all think, man? Did this thing come from space? You know? Is this come from some extraterrestrial life forms or something? It's like, for real, that's wild. Just this metallic orb falling out of the sky. Some are theorizing it could have came from a Chinese rocket that I guess recently landed in the Indian Ocean. To think it may be, hey, this orb came from that. I don't know. But I'm like really wondering what the deal is, you know. And again, the fact that there hasn't been any update, like, I'm keeping my eye on this story, because, like, you know, you really know it's going to be some funny style ish if the authorities do put out some press release saying, oh, it was a hoax or a prank or it's nothing, don't worry about it, then we got to worry about it, right?
I'm not targeting anyone, but however, you do not get to commit crimes in my county and then decide to brag on it, which you do that for a form of intimidation and to further the gang and not be held responsible. One of the lyrics used in this indictment, just one of the lyrics, is me and my crew striking out, striking in all black. Send me the drop, we'll kick in the house. If we steal a car, we're gonna take off the tag. Well, they kicking indoors, committing home invasions, and now I'm using those lyrics that they're admitting to doing that. I'm gonna continue to do that. People can continue to be angry about it. I have some legal advice. Don't confess to crimes on rap lyrics if you do not want them used, or at least get out of my county.
All right, y'all, so that was Fannie Willis, District Attorney, Fulton County, Georgia. Been hitting the headlines like crazy ever since the whole YSL indictment. Some other indictments went down recently. The Drug Rich Gang. They allegedly, reportedly were out here just trying to hit anyone who was flexing on social media. Like reportedly some celebrities were victims of their crimes. Mariah Carey, $5 million mansion burglary or robbery or whatever. Kelvin Ridley, wide receiver for the Falcons. Brad Guzan, goalkeeper for the Atlanta United. Marlo Hampton, reality star on The Housewives of Atlanta. And Brittany Milley, Future's BM, and the whole situation with lyrics being used, this is, something that hits the news very often. We've been talking about this for a couple years now, like rappers are saying this is BS, this is some flunkery, this is art. You should not be able to interpret our art as admission to guilt. But I don't know, guys, like, what do you guys think of this, In a lot of these situations, there's legal analysts who are saying, hey, they're not just taking these lyrics out of nowhere and just locking people up clearly on lyrics that they, have incidents allegedly through wiretaps and other, ish that they got through the investigations and whatnot that they tied to the lyrics, as well as other social media posts and stuff like that, and say, hey, you hear this, and then you hear this, put the song and the wiretap together, boom, that's what they were talking about. Or you see this post, what they were saying here, it seems like some kind of cryptic message. Well, that was, speaking on this situation or whatever. I don't know, there's so much ish with the YSL indictment, this new indictment, and other cases that have been talked about that you really got to go through with a fine-tooth comb, which we're not really getting into on this one. We're just speaking on this in general. I want to know your thoughts, but this is her, answering that, where it's hitting in the headlines that, a lot of people feel like this is some BS, that she's using lyrics and stuff like that. She's flat out saying, hey, if you do crimes, don't be foolish enough to talk about it in your music. And, to put it pretty blatant or whatever, she's just coming out talking about, I'm trying to shut down all this crime in Fulton County, that she's like, don't bring that ish here. I'm going to try to lock you up. She's talking about she doesn't negotiate with any gang members, that if you come to Fulton County committing crimes, victimizing citizens and stuff like that, who want to make Fulton County their home and raise families and ish like that she's going to do everything she can to put you behind bars for the duration of your life if she can. Like, she's talking spicy out here, and she says she does not feel sorry for it one bit, Like, she's responding like, she doesn't like the narrative that she's trying to target people for their art. She's like, I'm out here trying to clean up crime, Individuals are talking about, I'm targeting people. I'm trying to get the people that are targeting citizens, I don't know, it's a wild situation, but she's talking her ish. And she's prime, really, as we were just talking about politics in the beginning of this video, she's trying to make that political push. You guys see that sign talking about elect Fani Willis, you know. She's trying to make that push, and that's one of her, I don't want to say gimmicks, but that's a big part of the line she's pushing, that she has zero tolerance for crime. All right, so speaking of hip-hop, crime, violence, etc., you know, in a recent video I did yesterday, we were talking about Milk74 going in on ADAM22. As we know, that's a long-standing beef. He don't fuck with Adam. And I did a recent video where Milk was talking about the guy from the Channel 5 YouTube channel, Came On No Jumper. And, you know, they got to talking about C-Mac, gang politics, and, you know, because Channel 5 did an interview with C-Mac, and, you know, they just got to talking about how Adam has interviewed a lot of rappers who are in gangs and stuff like that. And more or less, the Channel 5 dude was like, yeah, Channel 5 dude was like, yo, I'm falling back from that world, and that he didn't want to ask C-Mac about any of the gang-ish, and, you know, just more or less the way the blogosphere can bring the gangs in the streets and everything like that to the forefront, kind of make it almost mainstream. And, you know, like he was comparing it to how people are obsessive about true crime, that in the hip-hop world, you know, a lot of cats that have never been in the streets, have nothing to do with the streets, all of a sudden have all this gang knowledge and get obsessed with it. And he was just saying he felt, in his opinion, it was dangerous, so he fell back from it. And I don't know, I did a whole video on it. I'll link it below. ADAM22, you know, responded. But Milk has a whole nother jump off out, which I'll pin that one below as well, where he's reacting to ADAM22 being on the Joe Budden podcast. And again, guys, I expressed this in past videos where I apologize about, you know, when I say I'm going to link a video below, sometimes I forget to. I promise y'all those links will indeed below. That's my word, no cap. But Milk still is pushing this line on ADAM22, and things got spicy for Adam on the Joe Budden podcast, as I'm not, well, like Joe had some things to say, but there was another cat that, you know, is a part of the Joe Budden podcast, and apologies, I forget, like, I'm not fully up on the whole cast of the show since Rory and Maul left. Like Joe Budden podcast is a platform that I used to listen to religiously. I don't listen to it as much anymore. Comment and let me know if y'all still fuck with the Joe Budden podcast and all that. But the point that I'm trying to make is, I forget dude's name that was pressing Adam like this, but he specifically was just getting at Adam and saying, hey, you're monetizing the gang violence, you're foul for that. Someone that they brought up specifically was FBG Cash, who coincidentally or not coincidentally got brought up during the whole conversation with the dude from Channel 5 that I was just speaking of. But basically he was just saying that ADAM22, you know, clickbait titles these videos specifically talking about nothing but the beef of a lot of these Chicago drill rappers. And just basically was saying that in his opinion, he felt like Adam's on some flunkery and some foul-ish, and he's dead wrong for it. And he was just speaking about how, you know, as individuals in their 40s, they look at a lot of these younger drill artists on the come up like, you know, these dudes are trying to do anything for fame. They may not be that mature yet. And Adam's just dead wrong. You know, and Adam was responding, talking about, hey, of course I'm going to ask him about the beef, but, you know, that he's a fan of drill music, and, you know, he does these legit interviews, and, you know, like, I don't know, he was clapping back. Again, the link's going to be pinned below, but what do you guys think about this? You know, this is something that Milk74 has been saying since his time on the platform, you know, as, again, I've spoke about this numerous times, how right after Milk, C-Mac and P0L were on there, and he felt like Adam was just specifically trying to, you know, speak about nothing but beef and, you know, highlight that and create friction and sit back and count his money. And at the end of the day, something we speak about all the time is that, yes, indeed, not just in hip hop, everywhere, controversy always sells, right? But I mean, that's something like, and again, in any world, not just hip hop, there is always going to be misunderstandings and beef and things like that. But, you know, they felt that the dudes from Joe Budden podcast was saying they felt that it didn't even need to be spoke about. They were speaking about how they recently interviewed artists and didn't even mention beef at all, and had a great interview. And again, Adam was just shooting all this theory down and was getting a bit frustrated. But I mean, people are always going to kind of want to know about the beef. But do you guys think Adam specifically focuses on beef and that's it? Jump in the comments and let me know your thoughts on this whole topic. All right, guys, and last in the news, you see this picture here has gone crazy viral. You know, player for the Houston Rockets, Usman Garuba, went back to Spain, you know, where he's a member of the national team. You know, that's his country he rocks with, and they have a, you know, world championship qualifying matchup against the Netherlands, and everyone noticed it looks like he straight shitted on himself. I mean, guys, what else could that be? I mean, like, he shit himself, right? Fans were really having a field day with this one online. But what's crazy and is blowing my mind about this is there's an interview back from like last year in 2021 where Devin Booker was talking about, like, he had a whole specific section of the interview just talking about NBA players ishing on themselves. I'm like, damn, is this really a thing? Like, this has this happened this much? Like, and why? You know, like, flat out, go check the interview out. They're like, Devin Booker speaks on NBA athletes in the heat of competition ishing themselves. Like, why does this happen so much? Do y'all remember this happening more times? I mean, I get it, right? This could be a freak thing that could happen at time to time. Someone's got the flu or their stomach's fucked up and, you know, they still want to go out there and compete. And things get a bit messy, I guess. I don't know. But this whole narrative, like, oh, yeah, that's a thing. NBA players, they shit on themselves sometimes. Like, I miss that. And I don't know. I had to bring this to y'all to see what your guys' thoughts on this are. Like, do you remember this happening other times? Why would this happen somewhat regularly over years? Like, well, what's the deal with all this, you know? And it's like, even in the article, they're talking about just ask an NBA equipment manager. He'll tell you all kinds of ishy stories. Like, what? And also, it's like, yo, did dude not know that this happened? Like, why didn't he just go, hey, accidents happen, but why didn't he just go hit the locker room and clean himself up, right? Like, what the fuck, man? But I don't know, man. That's gonna conclude this video. We're going out on an ishy note on this one, I guess. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to join that discussion in the comments. Let's talk about all these topics. Stay tuned. More videos coming. Subscribe. It's Jay Coffee Talk. Music, news, sports, and more. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.